Hello and welcome to Stories, the True and the Fictional, the indie author podcast supporting indie authors from all around the world. This episode is brought to you by Rebecca Kearsells of the Rising Dawn series. You too can become a sponsor by heading on over to buymeacoffee.com/STTATF or follow the link in the show notes. And now, let's get into the show. Warning. Listening to this episode may cause your TBRs to grow in size. Hello guys and welcome to a brand new episode of Stories, the True and the Fictional, the indie author podcast supporting indie authors from all around the world. I am one of your hosts, Jay O'Brien. Ryan is not on the screen right now because his internet was really shoddy, as we say, in the land down under, so he'll be there. But he's not here right now. So, usual spiel. Remember to check out our sponsor, Rebecca Kearsells. Remember to check out our honorary sponsors, Janelle Schiecke and Alexander Robb. All the links are down below. And I think that's about it. Buy some merch, support the show, and get ready, because we're about to go talk to Norrin Ripsman again for the second time. Such a great dude. He's got a book out called Bullet Holes. It is really fascinating. Be sure to check that out. Watch the episode and you'll learn all about it. And boy, if I could say one thing, story pitch was wild. I'm just going to say that. Story pitch was wild. So thanks for listening, guys. And let's go talk to Norrin. Norrin, welcome back. How you been?
Oh, great. How are you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm living the dream. I'm going to say it. I'm living the dream.
I see you've got another book out. You've got some of the artwork that I've seen is just magnificent.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the gargoyle, the boy who slayed the gargoyle, behind me somewhere. Yeah, that was.
I see Ancora. I don't see the boy who.
It's up there if you really want me to grab it.
Yeah, grab it. You should.
All right. I can edit this out. Oh, look at that. There it is. No, that's the other
okay.
one. Let me destroy my bookshelf.
I'm sorry, I didn't need to go off script here, but it just,
Is that it?
I've been seeing it and it looks really good, so.
I will put it on the screen because I can't find. I'll keep finding the old ones. Yeah, I don't know where it's gone. Welcome to Rearranging My Bookshelf live on the Story podcast. I'll put it on the screen, guys. Yeah, because I got the artwork done. Redone with the same artist that did Ancora, so they're really cool.
Yeah, and yeah, I've been seeing that artwork is just fantastic. So
yep.
I'd say good morning, Ryan, but it's like nighttime for you, so.
It is, but that's okay. It's all part of the sacrifices that we make to do this podcast.
We do it round the clock, don't we? Sometimes.
You guys never stop.
We do.
Unfortunately, I do when I go to work, and all I can think about is writing books and getting home to edit the podcast and trying to get all the sound bites out and stuff like that. Like, this is the job I want to do, but I'm trapped, driving forklifts.
Yeah.
So isn't that the case? Like when you write, you're working all the time? Because I also have a full-time job. I actually like my job, but I have a full-time job, and I spend my time thinking about the fiction, and then thinking about marketing the fiction, and thinking about editing the fiction, and thinking about the next one, and then I try to sleep, and my brain keeps on working, and so I have ideas, and I have to go out, and jot them down, and so I think that's part of being a writer and trying to pay for being a writer too.
Yeah, I have a few times. I try not to write at night because I get into a rhythm, and then I'm going like I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's like, oh, but I'm in the zone.
Writing at night. I can't avoid writing at night though, because that's first. It comes when it comes. Like as you know, like it just comes into your head when it comes, and it usually comes when you're able to leave your brain free, and so you're not focusing on other things.
Yeah.
And that means that at night when you lie down, or at night when you've got a bit of time, you have the ability to write. So I used to try to keep it to working at nights and weekends, like to writing at nights and weekends. But your characters don't let you do that, because your characters will start talking to you at different times, and you have a clear idea of dialogue and what to do. And if you don't do it, then you're going to lose it.
Yep.
So
I just saw a post today. Yeah, a UK writer that I follow on X, and she said like she had a really good idea for a story while she was in the shower, and then she got out and it was gone. You know, that's just like, oh.
Yeah, I have that. I mean, in the shower, I can usually remember it and write it down. I had that where I was driving to work a few weeks ago. I was driving to work and I had this great idea, and I lost it by the time I got into my office and started thinking about, do I write it down? What do I write down? I don't remember what it was. So mainly because I ran into people on the way and got into other conversations and just lost it. So,
well, I'm really lucky with my work, because my work
isn't that why they?
Sorry, Ryan. Yep.
I was going to say, isn't that why they say that as a writer, you should try and, if you can, invest in like a handheld tape recorder kind of thing, so that even if you are in
dictaphone
traffic, or I mean, it wouldn't really, it wouldn't really help if you were in the shower, but everywhere else kind of thing, you'd be able to just go, yeah.
So maybe you need like a shower cam or something, right? So you can just talk to the shower cam.
Yeah, that's it. I'm sure it's out there. But yeah,
great inventions that happen. Yeah.
With my work, I'm on a tablet all the time. There's a WhatsApp work chat, so it's always going. So I can just like go, oh, I'm working, but writing down some notes for my story.
Right.
So anyway, let's get to these icebreakers. You're on it for a second time. You get a brand new spanking set of icebreaker questions. I'm sure you've heard them before, but
I've watched the show and I have heard them, so I've been thinking about them. Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to kick it off with the first one, which is dwarves or elves, man. Dwarves or elves.
So initially, that caused me a lot of problems, because I was thinking it's a tough one, right? The elves are really sophisticated, and have that. They live in great places. Rivendell's fantastic, and so that's quite appealing. But on the other hand, you've got the hard drinking and good eating dwarves, and that's kind of fun too. They're probably more fun to be around with. But then I realized that I was overthinking this, because, in the movie, Liv Tyler was a half elf, right?
Yeah.
Lady Arwen. And I'm thinking, that's it. There's just no question, right? I'd give up everything for Lady Arwen personally. So I've got to be the elves. Got to be the elves.
And you'd get a lot more writing done too.
That's true. Better for writing. On the other hand, you probably have more to write when you're with the dwarves.
Yeah.
But really, I just, Liv Tyler was awesome in that. When I was a lot younger, she was in those Aerosmith videos, which were unbelievable. And then she was in, I don't know if you saw Stealing Beauty, when she was.
Yes, long time ago.
I can't tell you what the movie was about. It took place, I think, in Tuscany, but I mean, she was just unbelievable in that. And it's like, okay. So yeah, when I would watch any movie with her, there are a few people I'd watch any movie with, but yeah, she's an elf, and I think that means the elf win by far.
Yeah. One of my favorite movies is That Thing You Do. Tom Hanks' first movie to like as a director.
Okay, yeah.
And she's in that. So
right, yeah, no, I saw that as well, and I'd say, as I say, I'd see anything with her. I mean, there are a few people, and she's one of them. But so it's fairly easy.
I think I think the first movie I ever saw her in was Empire Records. I think that was one of her
Mm.
earlier ones, about the group of friends that work in the record store. I think it came out late 90s, maybe late 90s. I'm not
That
sure.
sounds right. That sounds right.
1995.
Uh,
Mid 90s,
And
right?
I
Mid
no,
90s.
I think Stealing Beauty was like a
yeah,
year or two before that. I think.
okay,
I'm
But
trying to.
as I say,
okay,
Stealing Beauty was worth
all
watching,
right.
even if I don't remember if it was a good movie or not, but it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
You know,
No,
there's some. I don't know if you've seen the Fabulous Baker Boys
I don't think I have. No.
with Michelle Pfeiffer and the Bridges
No.
brothers. I don't. It's not a very good movie. I mean, but that doesn't matter because Michelle Pfeiffer at one point is on a piano, on top of the piano, rolling around and singing, and it's like, just for that, it's worth it. Like it's one of those images that's seared into your brain for
Yeah.
forever.
Um, so Stealing Beauty was 1996, so 1 year
Oh, it
after
was
Empire.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize it was after. Okay.
Yeah. Look, welcome to the Liv Tyler podcast.
Okay. Question number two is, what is your least favorite trope in storytelling? Now, that can be in books, movies, TV shows, whatever that may be.
So I'm probably gonna make a lot of enemies here, but I'm gonna say good versus evil.
Mm.
I I don't like that. I find that, and certainly in my writing, but just in general, I find sometimes life is about good versus evil. Very rarely. Most times, there's a lot more nuance involved,
Yeah.
and I don't think anybody or very few people look at themselves in the mirror and say, I am evil,
Yeah.
right? And I don't think there's anybody out there that's, purely good, even if they think they are. And I'm much more interested in how people see the world. In my current book, which I'll tell you about later, I write it through the lenses of 9 different characters, and they all see themselves as, absolutely right.
Yeah.
And they're the only ones who understand the world,
Mm.
and they have a logic to that that sort of makes sense as you follow it through, even if you don't agree with all of them. You can't agree with all 9 of them, but I think it's much more interesting to understand how people see the world and understand how natural conflicts exist than good versus evil. And I think I could deal with it in children's literature, but I really have a hard time with it in adult literature because that's just not the way the world works. And I find it, you know, I find it too simplistic. So I don't like that.
Mm. Hot take with
Okay.
Norrin. Cool. All right, so this question number 3, one of my favorites. If you could have a talking animal sidekick, what would you pick? And bonus points if you give it a voice, like James L. Jones is a popular one.
Yeah, no, I could see James Earl Jones. So honestly, this is a question that gave me the hardest time because I can't see myself with a sidekick and a talking animal sidekick. But okay, I figured let's go with a shy animal that you two would be very familiar with, the platypus. I think there's never been a talking platypus sidekick, and especially not with Jack Nicholson's voice. So
Yes.
So I figured that would have to be it, right? Because they're very shy, right? They don't appear much. They try and hide. So I'd love to see one with Jack Nicholson's voice and attitude.
That's cool. There is actually an Australian cartoon with a talking platypus.
Really?
I can't remember its voice though. Um, Ryan, do you remember Blinky Bill?
Yeah, I remember Blinky Bill.
Yeah. Children's cartoon called Blinky Bill. Blinky with Bill was a koala, and he had all these koala friends. And they had the McDonald. I think it was McDonald's did a run of toys. Um, Probably only in
Huh.
Australia.
Okay. Blinky Bill and his
Blinky
platypus
Bill.
friend with Jack Nicholson's voice, of course.
I'm gonna say that probably is true. I'm gonna look it up. The Adventures of Blinky Bill. Sorry, I'm going on a nostalgia trip right now.
That's okay.
You know what? I'll do the share screen thing so you can witness our childhood.
Okay.
But if I go
Blinky
back,
Bill.
Blinky Bill. Oh, they did a movie in 2015.
I'm sure it was a very popular movie.
I didn't even know it happened, so there you go. All right. What's the next question, Ryan?
Okay, the next question is what book or story would you like to see adapted into film? Bonus points if you can pick your leading actor or actress. And you can't pick one of your own books because in this world that we live in, your own has already been made into a movie.
Yeah.
Right. So there are a couple of books, but I think I'd go with John le Carré's A Perfect Spy. I think it's his best. He's got a lot of great books. I don't know if you like his genre, but I love the kind of thoughtful, ponderous spy novel. And he's had a number of his books made into movies, but I think his best book is A Perfect Spy. And I'd love that directed by Richard Linklater. And because it's Richard Linklater, I'd have to say it's got to be Ethan Hawke in the lead role.
Oh, yes.
And right, because they've worked really, really well together on so many films. And then I'd have to say Ana de Armas, just because I'd watch a backgammon tournament with Ana de Armas because, I don't need to explain anymore. But I mean, so I think that'd be just a great cast. And why isn't it made? I mean, I think we should actually get that made like this week.
Well, because it would probably not be that good, or it would be too good for Hollywood, because Hollywood's a bit, shaky at the moment. Hit and misses there's a lot of hit and misses, but
right,
you
right.
never know. You never know. It could be the magic one. Could be the magic one.
Oh, I think so. I mean, look, Richard Linklater. I love the way he makes films. He's just got a talent for seeing it, and I think he could do this. And this kind of film, kind of paced film, I think that he'd be able to do well. So I think let's make it. Let's try and raise the funds and get it done.
You heard it here. Kickstarter coming tomorrow. All right, let's bring home the icebreakers with the final question, which is: Dr. Emmett Brown arrives in your driveway and says, "Great Scott, Norrin, I need your help to confuse an archaeologist. What should I take back in time to bury in the past?"
So I have two inclinations and couldn't figure out which way to go. One of them is Andy Warhol's soup can. Because that would really puzzle them. The other one might be a DVD of SpongeBob.
Why not?
Because you just got to figure, as they're looking through and discovering it and playing it, they've got to be wondering, what the hell?
But I'd like to slip it into one of the pharaoh's tombs.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. That's perfect. On the wall, maybe both, right? On the wall of the pharaoh's tomb, they break in and they see Andy Warhol's soup can. And then you have them, dig a little further and they expose the SpongeBob DVD.
I'd pay to see SpongeBob, on the wall, like the hieroglyphs with SpongeBob. Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Yeah. So that would definitely be it. Yeah.
Cool. That's solid. I appreciate that. All right, let's get down to business. I don't want to waste any time because this book looks fantastic. I'm going to bring up the cover.
Thank you.
It's such a simple cover, but it's so effective.
They did a great job on the cover. I was really happy with the publisher on this, and they did. I explained to them. I had an idea of what I wanted. I did tell them, my general expectations, what I was looking for, but they exceeded my expectations with this.
And the classic, the bullet hole as the O. I mean, I love stuff like that.
Right.
We did at least we recorded a judging the book covers episode recently, and the T it was a fantasy novel, and the T was a sword. So it's like that. I love stuff like that. You know.
Yeah. No, exactly. Make the title part of the art.
Yeah, it's always
So
effective. So uh, just so it was your publisher that did this for you?
that's right.
Yeah, yeah. So you just said, "Here's the book. This is what it is. Works of magic."
That's right. Well, I mean, I did tell them that I kind of imagined a bullet hole spray across the cover,
Yeah.
and so that was part of my idea. And I did say I wanted some kind of indication that it's a classroom, and
Oh yeah, chalkboard.
that's it's chalkboard exactly.
Yeah.
So there's that chalkboard color and feel to it, and then the blood spatter, and so I had not suggested a chalkboard, but they got that. They figured that out, and the blood spatter is perfect. So I just thought they did a great job. I love the color palette. It's a somber color palette. It's an ominous color palette. I just love the design. So from the beginning, I suggested a couple of changes afterwards, but they didn't work. It just didn't work with the cover, and so I went back to the original, which I really liked.
Yeah, cool. So what's it about? You mentioned like 9 different characters. Was that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's about, I mean, I live in the United States. I think I mentioned last time I'm Canadian. I live in the United States, and I've been living here for the last 10 years. I'm there are a number of dysfunctions that I see right now in American society. One of them is the fact that you can't talk to people with whom you disagree in the United States anymore. And I've already told you I don't really believe in the good versus evil beyond like fairy tales in a sense. And what I find, maybe from my day job as a political scientist, international relations professor, is that you have well-meaning people who often just disagree, who just see the world differently, who have different premises, starting points, and I think of that song. I forget who sang it. Probably from the 1970s or 1980s. 1970s, I'm guessing. There ain't no good guys, there ain't no bad guys. There's only you and me, and we just disagree. But there's a sense of that. But in the United States right now, it's hard for people to give space to others who disagree. People who may have been their friends for a long time, people who may have been their family members for a long time. So people disagree and can't see past the disagreement and can't have conversations where conversations are great because people who disagree may find that they understand the other side and may find that they might change their mind a little bit, or may understand their own arguments better because they understand the other side's argument. But also, if you want to try and achieve anything together as a society, even politically, where you have gridlock in Congress at this point, you have to have conversations at least and be able to talk to the other side and work with them, because all of the institutions of government in a democracy are built to require some kind of cooperation and reaching out to the other side. I find that regardless of what party you're talking about, you don't have that ability in most people to reach over to the other side and have a genuine conversation. And it's often about sticking it to the other side. And that's really problematic. So that's one thing that was on my mind when I was thinking about this novel. The other thing is there's some problems. There's a large, maybe, I don't know if I want to call it an epidemic, but it's something close in the United States of school shootings. And, the United States is a country that has, unlike Canada, where I come from, guns are prevalent in American society, and that makes sense because of their history and their culture, particularly as you know, prior to 1776. It was frontier, right? And it made sense for guns to have a significant place. And in addition to that, the revolution was won, and Jefferson said that little revolution now is a good thing, and the Constitution, at least the Second Amendment afterwards, enshrined the possession of guns for militias, and so it has a strong place in American culture and society, and it makes sense as far as that goes, given the history, given the culture, given the experience. But at the same time, I don't think anybody on any side thinks that school shootings are something constructive. And I think everyone recognizes it's a problem, but you can't talk to each other to try and create a solution. And the parties can't try to talk to each other. Why? Because they have their entrenched ideas of why they happen. And so because of that, there's never been able to be any reasonable action on school shootings. They just happen, and both sides make the same statements, the same tropes that they trot out, and then you move on until the next one. And so I try to deal with both of that here with the idea of looking at the costs of the human costs of school shootings from the perspective of 9 different characters. So here I use the tool of a family bar mitzvah. So the family is coming together for Manny's bar mitzvah 9 months after his brother Danny, his twin brother Danny, was killed in a school shooting. And they're coming together. And the thing about this family is that it's always been a model family in the United States, because they're different families, different kinds of worldviews that came together, and it's never really been a problem. So Pauline, Manny and Danny's mother, it was from a secular family from the Midwest, from Columbus, Ohio. She was from a very liberal family, very heavily Democratic, supported all liberal causes, including she was pro-choice. She was anti-Second Amendment. She was against, she was in favor of significant regulation of firearms and just about every other liberal cause. Gary, her husband, was from a religious family from Texas. He was heavily politically conservative. He was a Trump supporter. He was supporting all of the opposite causes. So he was anti-abortion. He was very much in favor of the Second Amendment, and that was never a problem for them as a family. For 22 years, they had what they considered to be the holiest of family lives, where they would disagree, and that would be the end of it. They'd laugh, they'd tease each other. He used to call her Ruth Bader Grossberg. Her last name was Grossberg. He used to call her Ruth Bader Grossberg, dismissively, and she would call him her deplorable, based on that comment Hillary Clinton made about Trump supporters being deplorable, and they didn't have a problem with that. And that was, and they never took the arguments too seriously, and what united them was much greater than what divided them until 9 months prior. They were living in Chicago, and Danny was killed in a school shooting. And since then, a lot of the political differences became politically significant. So now both extended families are coming together on the weekend of Manny's bar mitzvah, which was supposed to be Danny's as well, and everything bubbles to the surface. So the weekend progresses through the lenses of 9 different characters. Each chapter is told through the mind of and the lenses of a different character. They're characters. So first, Pauline and Gary themselves get a number of chapters. Um, Manny gets a number of chapters, and he's dealing with intense guilt at this point. He's survived, and he's dealing with intense guilt, and he's also been the hapless twin brother. So he's, Danny has been skilled at absolutely everything, and Manny, on the other hand, has always felt like an also ran, and so he's dealing with those intense, feelings as well, and emotions, and dealing with his past wishes and hopes, and trying to reconcile them with what's happened. You have older brother Evan, who actually just has had enough. He's going to UCLA 2 months later. This takes place in June, and it takes place in June of 2024. So there's an election campaign going on as well, and the family's divided on the election campaign, as you can imagine. And so it takes place in June of 2024. And he's going off to college in Los Angeles. They're in Philadelphia now, which is actually where I live. It's set in my neighborhood in suburban Philadelphia. But he's off to college in Los Angeles in 2 months, and he just can't get out fast enough because he just finds that life is just too heavy and they need to move on. Then you've got a grandparent from each side, and you have Gary's father, who is ultra conservative, kind of a voice from the past. Very traditional, the patriarch of the family. He's also had his family was touched by the Holocaust as well, and so he's got very strong feelings of tradition and grievance. You have Pauline's mother, who is dealing not only with her emotions and feelings over what happened to her grandson, like everyone else is, but her husband is very quickly tipping into dementia, and she's trying to hide that and cover that up. And so she's dealing with a whole range of emotions and problems, and is slowly losing her ability to manage everything. You've got an aunt and uncle on each side. So we have Gary's sister-in-law, his brother's wife, who is somewhere between Gary's father and the Perlmutters in her attitude. She has some of the old world, some of the new world, trying to mix it together and figure out where she stands. You've got Pauline's brother Mark, who is who's unlike, doesn't really understand why Pauline has aligned with this traditional family, and he's moving on. He has a very different set of attitudes, and is looking at all of this as if it's crazy. And finally, you have Evan's girlfriend from Chicago, Carrie, who's the only one who's from the outside, and the only one who can really see what's going on in many respects and really understand what Manny's going through. So you have you actually have a 10th character who doesn't get a chapter of her own, but in one extended chapter of the Friday night dinner, she's a storyteller, and she just spins some magnificent yarns at the time as well. So what it is it's a microcosm of American society in many respects, because the attitudes and the viewpoints are across the spectrum, and I think I've tried to portray that as they would themselves. I have a bit of a skill in that regard, in that I'm a political science professor. I deal with very fraught topics on a regular basis in the classroom, and I do that respectfully. And I do that when I teach theories that I don't believe in, that I don't subscribe to, and I try to teach them as faithfully as possible, as if I were the theorist that devised them. And when I'm successful, my students don't even know where I stand, which is great. But I try to get inside people's heads and present them as faithfully as possible. And I think Bullet Holes is powerful in that regard, because it brings people in to see ideas from someone else's head.
It's actually quite brilliant. I really love the concept. I'm just wondering why is 9 characters? Like, is that what you had, or were you just working on characters and they kept snowballing and more kept coming, or
So I needed, um, I wanted to actually get into different perspectives on grieving.
mm,
So Evan was useful, even though I initially hadn't thought of putting Evan in there himself, but he was useful not politically. He doesn't even get into the politics at all. And I think that's important too, in that
mm,
he's just interested in living life. So Evan
yeah,
and Carrie are useful because they don't, um, they're representing something else other than the politics, which is only part of the story. In fact, I think the grief is probably the
mm,
major part of the story, and you know, and Pauline's, Gary's, and Manny's in particular. But so I thought so they needed to come in, but I also felt that when I wrote it initially with them and the grandparents, at least two grandparents, um, I felt it needed more. There needed to be something a little bit more distant, and I needed to reflect different political perspectives which weren't on the table.
mm,
And so Gary's sister-in-law represents kind of an in-between position that I wasn't didn't have in the first draft of the novel. So I put her in because that wasn't reflected. And then I felt that Pauline and Pauline's mother didn't reflect another end of the spectrum. And so I thought Mark was actually useful to get another aspect in. So I felt the 9 characters were essential. I initially had the 7, but I felt there was something incomplete. So the second draft had a wider picture, and I think it did a better job of creating the context necessary and the richness.
yeah. Do you have any questions, Ryan? So people know you're still there.
Um, yeah, no, I mean, you said that, you know, as the with your career, it's something that you often think about. Is that where you got the inspiration from it, or was it there a particular, like a particular incident that happened in the news over in America that really got you thinking, and look, I really need to address this, and writing this book is the best way to do it?
So that's a great question. So I so the answer is yes to both. In that I've been thinking about the political
Okay.
divide for a while. It was on my mind while I was so I was start this happened in the autumn of 2021 while I was working on The Oracle of Spring Garden Road, the first novel that I you talked to you about the last time I was on.
Mm,
And so it was actually really at the early stages of The Oracle of Spring Garden Road while I was working on this in my mind of how to portray this. What I was worried about the political divide more than anything else, and I was actually driving into it was I can tell you the date, November 30th, 2021. I was driving from Philadelphia to Toronto to go to my father's funeral, and I heard on the news that there were 2 school shootings that day. Not the high profile ones that
Okay.
everyone's heard about, but there were 2 school shootings. One of them was in Michigan. I think there were 11 people or 13 people killed. And the other one, I think, was in Tennessee, and there were 2 people killed. And it was just like in my mind, I was thinking like, oh God, 2 more. And there had been one the day before on the 29th as well. I don't remember where. And I was just thinking that, it just came together that this would be the way to set that. So I was thinking about this conversation and getting into different people's heads across the political spectrum. That I was thinking of, but I didn't know why and in what setting.
mm,
And hearing about those 2 school shootings, it just became clear that it would be this issue. And then on the drive, I was thinking that they'd have to be coming together, 2 different families coming together for some particular reason. And I was thinking
mm,
of a wedding but that wasn't, wedding didn't make much sense. I think
Yeah.
I liked the idea of a family that had been together and not had a problem. And so then it became, I was thinking, so some bar mitzvah would have been a great opportunity for that.
Excellent. Excellent.
So I've seen the posts floating around social media. You had a book launch. You did some reading. How did that go? Was it well received?
Yes, I have a reading that I do, my go-to reading, and then I've got a couple of others, but I have a reading of a therapy session that Manny goes to, and it almost reveals a secret that he's got about this, but then fails to do so in the end, loses the chickens out in a sense, and then they move away. That it works really well. So I've gotten great feedback from audiences. I've gotten great feedback from people who've read it. I've had people say, this should be required reading for everybody because really gives you a window into different people's minds, but also hopefully opens people's minds a little bit so that they hear what other people say. It doesn't matter where they are on the spectrum. You just hear what other people say and see them as people rather than as political points of view.
Yeah.
So I've been getting really great feedback from this, and the readings have gone well. I've done a number of events, and it's just a question of getting the word out.
Yeah. So where would you rate this book on all the books you've written, like as your favorite?
As you know, that's like asking you to rank your children, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's different. It's a very different kind of novel from The Oracle of Spring Garden Road. It's different from my short story collection that's out there. I've written, this is my second published novel. It's my third novel that I've written. I love the second one, but it's just, I thought this one was more urgent to get out. And I've written, since I finished this, I've two more, and I'm on my sixth now. So I don't know how I'd rank it. I guess because I'm marketing now it's the best,
it's the
right?
best.
By far the best. But basically, no, I love them all. They're all different kinds of novels. I don't write, I think I mentioned last time, I don't write in a specific genre.
Sure. Me too.
Because I don't like being pigeonholed. In fact, I get an idea. So the next novel, unlike this entirely, is a spy novel. You finished that, but that's the next one that I want to bring out to market, and it's completely different. I think it's actually more in the style of John le Carré, who I mentioned before. It's that more cerebral spy novel, and the following novel after that is I can only describe it as sort of free form and scatterplot. Maybe scatterplot is the best way to describe it, and psychological thriller more than anything else. So I don't write in a specific genre. So each one is, in my view, like my best in that
genre. Yeah,
that's right. So I can't answer that question.
Good. But today it's your best, so you can sell it. Yeah.
Today it's the best. Exactly.
Awesome.
It's probably the most politically significant.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, it probably has, the biggest potential impact on the way people see the world. I'd say, but we'll see what kind of impact it has.
Yeah, that's great. Now, I want to go back to the spy one because I'm very interested. What's your inspiration behind the spy one? Is it James Bond or something more deeper?
So it just came to me. You probably know, writing yourself, that inspiration will hit you. And for me, often inspiration is geographical or architectural. Geography is very important to me, and I can see a character in a particular setting, and sometimes the story comes to me in a particular setting. So I was actually on the Tokyo subway for an hour, Tokyo train for an hour, and about 15 minutes in, that whole setting and the whole vibe brought a story to my mind, and by the end of that train ride, I had sketched out the basic idea for the novel, and it takes place in Japan, half of it in Japan, half of it in Washington D.C. And it's it's about a former Pentagon official who's on the run who's hiding and on the run from both American and Russian intelligence in Tokyo. So, well, actually living in Yokohama, but and that was so the inspiration just struck me. I was never planning on writing something like that. And it was more a question of, well, so what's he doing there? Why is he there? Is he going to survive? Is he going to outlast his or elude his pursuers? And yeah, I kind of like it. I did a lot of reading of I've read everything of John le Carré's. I just wish he had written more. And it's more in that kind of internal style, but it's also like it's my unique take. It has more in common, I think, with Bullet Holes and the Oracle Spring Garden Road than it does with anything John le Carré wrote. But just hit me.
Now, because half of it's in Tokyo and the other half's in Washington. Is that because your flight was into Washington, and if you flew in somewhere else, it would have been somewhere else?
No. Well, first of all, look, I have I spent a lot of time in Washington D.C. doing research.
Okay.
And I know it fairly well. I also have a daughter who's living there now, so I know the city fairly well. And it had to be D.C. just in order to be able to. It just had to be set. His past had to be set in D.C. Just given what he does and given why he's in Tokyo, it had to be there.
Yeah. Cool. Is there a title yet, or is it just working?
I have a working title, but I'm not sharing it yet.
Okay. Off air.
Yeah. No, I'm not sharing the title yet, and I'm querying on it, and we'll see what happens.
Excellent. I do love me some good spy stuff.
Yeah, it was exciting to write. It was a lot. What I love doing different genre books is each one is completely different, and the writing experience is completely different. I don't set out to write different genre books, but it just when something comes to me that I like, I want to go with it.
That's
but the effect of that is that each one is a very, very different experience. I'm actually the one I'm writing right now is actually has more in common with that novel, the spy novel, but it's not a spy novel, but it is also. But it's more of a crime novel and like a murder novel. And that's something I haven't done before either, but the idea for that just came to me as well. So
now, we may have asked you this last time. I can't remember, so I'll ask it again. Is there a genre that you would like to write in, but you haven't got the idea for it yet?
No.
I
if something comes to me, it comes to me. I don't plan on a particular genre. I don't have a goal. It just whatever when an idea comes to you that's perfect that you think you can do. Often I sit there saying I can't do this. Usually I start off saying I can't do this, and then eventually you find ways. Yeah, some things just don't work, and you got to let go. But I've never targeted or looked at a particular genre. I don't know if I'd ever, it could be possible that I'll get a good idea for a fantasy that'll come to me and that I'll decide to write, but it just hasn't happened yet. I think in many respects it would be harder for me to do that, and so I'm always impressed by people who can do that because there's a lot more creation that you have to do in terms of world building, in terms of in terms of creating the laws that govern your universe and your characters and your species and races. That becomes a lot harder, I think. But if I ever get a good idea for that, maybe I'll try it.
It's a big commitment. I've tried writing fantasy 3 times and I'm almost there. But nothing ready to see the light of day yet.
See, maybe you need to be a Tolkien who's also a linguist and is able to develop languages. And I don't know, but haven't been able to get there. Well, I haven't tried to get there, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It would be a really hard thing to do. So, is there a genre you'd like to write in that you haven't done?
Yeah, well, it's fantasy. That's my goal, but I'm not there yet. I'm not
Okay.
there yet. It helps because me and Ryan play Dungeons and Dragons a lot, so I'm very used to world building in that sense, and I do
Mhm.
steal ideas from it all the time. So it's like
So, do you have like a draft of a novel or like
yeah,
a sketch of a novel?
I wrote one. Ryan said he loved it, but I wasn't happy with it completely. I think it wasn't there yet. Like, so the characters are there, the lore's there. I just I got to find the right way to tell it. And
Okay.
it's probably too short for fantasy because it's like it finished at like 55,000 words roughly.
Okay.
So most people are like it's got to be like 500
That,
pages
that's what I
long.
liked about it.
The quick
Well,
read.
that's what
Yeah.
I liked about it because I've currently got six arc reads that I'm doing at the moment, and they're all fantasy, and the shortest one is 412 pages, and the longest one is 784 pages. So
Mm,
I really liked Jamie's fantasy because it was a nice quick read.
yeah. No, well, I think on the retweak when I go back to it, I want to finish my Ancora series first. At least the next two books. It'll probably clock in at about 80,000 once I finish, I reckon, because like it needs a little more depth.
I can never project how long a book is going to be,
Yeah. Well, I'm
but
guessing. Yeah. So.
uh, I've been writing shorter. The first novel was, I think, like 130,000 words. And what I found in general is that some people found it a bit long. Like they liked the book, but some readers didn't care
Yeah.
and just loved it and went through. But some readers said, I liked it, but it just took me a while to finish. And um, since then, I had one at around 100,000. That's the second one that hasn't come out yet. This one is, I think, around 70, 75, something like that. Um, and the other ones have clocked in at around 70, not by design, but that's just when they wrapped up. So I've been writing shorter lately.
Yeah. We were just talking to one of our friends recently, Don Campbell, and he's just doing novellas at the moment, just pumping out novellas.
I have a novella too that I just haven't. I wrote that a while back, but I have a novella uh, that's probably maybe about 35 to 40,000 words. But I'm holding on to it because it's a little different. It's written from
Yeah.
the perspective of a character that makes it, kind of a more of an awkward read in a sense because
Mm,
of the nature of the character.
yeah.
And so I'm holding back on that until I get some of the other stuff published first.
Yeah. Cool. Well, it sounds like you got plenty of ideas, plenty of, do you work on multiple things at a time or do you do one after the other?
I sketch things out once I get an idea, and so I'll have like a 4 to 5 page outline, detailed
Hmm.
outline, which I depart from afterwards. So I think we
Me
had this
too.
conversation.
Yeah.
I'm neither a pantser, nor a plotter. I
Yeah.
plot, then I change,
Yeah.
as it comes through. It's a almost a dialectical process.
Yeah.
But as you write it, your characters are telling you how to rewrite it.
Hmm.
So I'll sketch it out while I'm doing something else, like bullet holes. As I say, I was just at the beginning of the Oracle Spring Garden Road, and got this idea and realized that this was a winner. So I sketched it out, and once I sketched it out, I just put it away and went back to finishing the Oracle Spring Garden Road. And I actually had another book in the pipeline beforehand, so I didn't get to this until after I finished two novels, and
Yeah.
then came back to do this one. And So I won't work on multiple. I do work on multiple books at the same time, but those are my nonfiction books. So I
Mm.
have international relations books that I've been publishing at the
Yeah.
same time. I had one that came out this past summer, and then one that's coming out in March. And so I do the day job and the night job at the same
Yeah.
time, but not two fiction books at the same
Yeah. You're like, this is true. This is true. This is true. Fiction. Yes.
time. It's really liberating to write fiction. It's a very different kind of writing, because when you're writing nonfiction, I'm doing a lot of archival stuff or interview-based stuff, and you've got to verify everything. You've got to dig.
Yeah.
You can't be satisfied until. So it takes an awful long time to write anything, because it's verify, check, is this
Research
correct? Yeah, and and then am I being exact? Is my wording exact? Is it because I don't want to imply something that's not true, and I have to be very careful and meticulous. And then with fiction, it's like, okay, let's just let things float. Let's see how things sound. This sounds like a good way to end this, or you know what I mean? It's like you have a lot more. It's scarier in some respects, because you're relying entirely on your mind to make it work and make it fit together, and it's got to fit, and it's got to be compelling for the reader, but at the same time, at least you don't have to verify everything 1,000 times.
You probably should make note of what you're doing while you're doing it, though, because you don't want to forget what a character said or thinks. And
right, but it's not the same thing. It's not.
No.
There's no burden of, oh, I've completely misrepresented this, or I've gotten this entirely wrong, or whatever. It's not the same thing. So it's a different kind of writing, and it is very liberating. Also, it's much more lyrical. I mean, when you write boring academic stuff, it's a certain kind of voice and a certain kind of language, and there's not really much room for lyricism, and description where necessary. Sometimes you want to be deliberately false, right? I mean, a narrator is not always reliable, but in nonfiction, you've got to be as careful and accurate as possible, and so it's a different part of your brain, in a sense.
Yeah. Do you find it easy just to switch between the two? Can you just go, okay, fiction, and the blinders go on, and you just get into it?
I'm better at it now. When I started, I always wanted to write fiction. I knew that was something that I wanted to do when I was a teenager, but when I started, it was often hard for me to write the fiction, because what was coming out on the page was my academic ease, if you will. And I had to scrap it and start over again, and it took. So then I got to the point where, again, dividing night and day, or weekend and was helpful, and I had to get into a different mindset. And sometimes, a little bit of scotch would be helpful to help me relax and just, let it flow. But I had to consciously force myself to get into a mode where I'm letting myself my brain float freely. Now it actually, after I've been doing this for about 6 years now. When I get into fiction, I can switch just back and forth. I can go from my academic document to my fiction document, and I get into a very different mindset just doing so.
Cool. All right. Well, it's getting late on our end. It's getting not early on your end. It's getting far from the early. So we're gonna play story pitch.
Great.
Was this a thing when you were on last time? Were we doing that then?
Yes, it was.
Cool.
Yeah. I had fun with that last time.
Well, you're in for a treat now, my friend, because we've got upgrades.
All right.
I'll bring up the new shiny graph. So, for our listeners, if you haven't seen this before, the game is called Story Pitch. We have a setting, a genre, a main character, and a crazy addition. Norrin's going to give us a number between 1 and 12 for each category, and we are going to tell him what they are, and he's going to pitch us a story. Now, the addition, Norrin, is the fact that we have 4 graphs now. So, before you give us the numbers, pick one of 4 graphs, and we'll play again.
I'll pick graph number 3.
Graph number 3. All right, and what are your 4 numbers?
Um, 11,
Mm-hmm.
1, 7,
Mm-hmm.
and 9.
11, 1, 7, and 9.
You're supposed to gasp when I say 9, right? You're supposed, oh no, well, not that one.
Well, I haven't read them yet. I'm writing down the numbers. No, that happened last recording. Oh, it's the worst one we ever had. Uh,
Oh,
okay.
And
So,
it happened again, and it's happening again this recording too. It's number 9 in Crazy Edition.
oh no. Okay. Well, your setting is a bank.
my setting is a bank. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and your genre is crime noir.
All right. I'm glad you didn't say romance
Oh,
in a bank.
wait, because there will be some later, I think. Uh, your main character is a surgeon.
Yeah, a surgeon in a crime noir in a bank. Okay.
Oh, strap in. It's about to get crazier.
And your Crazy Edition, which is someone or something that must appear in the story for at least a few seconds, and that is J.A. Bryden on a date with a Valley Girl.
All right. So you're gonna put that up on screen for me?
No, or
No.
I put that up in post, but I'll run it through you again.
Yeah, no, okay, no, okay, no, I think I got it. Okay, so it's setting bank,
Bank.
genre crime fiction, and the crime noir.
Yep.
Main character is no, no,
A surgeon. A surgeon.
surgeon, and you're on a date with a Valley girl. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, well, it just so happens that I've actually written one of these before. It's that that's that second book
Okay.
that I was telling you that I put on hold. So it's very easy for me to tell you about that because it's a book called East Bank, and it's set in a bank actually in the first, second, third bank of Philadelphia,
Hmm.
it's a crime noir. What you have is detective slash surgeon. He usually is it solves medical crimes, but he was brought in because there was a bank robbery in this setting, and he's actually performing surgery on a duck in the middle of the bank.
Sure.
And he's while he's depositing, he was actually he brought in some money to deposit because he's a surgeon and he's very rich, and he brought in money to deposit. But in the meantime, a duck had a heart attack. How a duck got in the bank, well, I don't want to spoil that, but
Hmm.
he was performing surgery, life-saving surgery on this duck, when in fact it turns out that the bank was robbed and there's no money in the vaults and they're screaming, and so he had to leave the duck aside in order to solve this. In the meantime, at a pivotal scene, you have these people in the corner who he's interviewing, and one of them happens to be you, Jamie Bryden, who's there with his well, not girlfriend actually. He was on a date to the bank. It's very popular to go on a date to the
To the
bank because
bank, yeah.
actually he was going to a restaurant called the Bankette. With a little W in the middle, banquet. I don't know. Anyway, he was on going there, and he got lost because his GPS sent him to the bank. And so he's in the bank, and he's wondering. He's asking, so where's the food? Like, what do we eat here? And she's going like dude, like there's no food here, man. This is like really gnarly. There's no food. What's going on here? And he sneaks in for a kiss, but meantime, the surgeon's gotten duck insides all over him, and finally they found out that it was the teller who had actually collaborated with the duck to fake a heart attack to get the money out. But anyway, I don't want to spoil the end because it's a really great read.
Oh gosh. Two Valley Girls in a row. Uh,
Yep.
I hate you, Ryan. That was good though. Except for the date with the Valley Girl. All right, round two.
Round two. Okay, no Valley Girls this time.
Okay, well, which graph do you want to use? One, two, or
Let's go
four?
with 2 this time.
Hmm. All right.
And
What?
let's pick 4.
Yeah.
4,
Mm.
2,
Yep.
and 4.
4424.
Yep.
Okay, so your setting is a video game arcade.
Oh, great.
And your genre is romantasy.
There's your romance.
Romantasy. Okay. Yeah.
You, oh, this is lining up perfectly because your main character is a relationship coach.
Okay.
And your crazy addition is Stargate SG-1.
Did you ever watch Stargate?
No. Can I replace that with something else? Because I
Okay.
just wouldn't even know where to go with that.
You got nowhere to go. Okay. We'll let you change, but you can only change it once. So pick wisely.
Okay, same graph. Let's go for 6.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
What do I win?
Yes.
So six
That's not gonna.
is me watching.
Yeah, you're breaking up, Ryan. But it's Ryan watching a Western.
Ryan watching a Western. All right.
Ryan doesn't like Westerns at all. So
Okay.
this is why
So
I have a Valley Girl one because he has one. Yeah.
okay, so he is it's a video arcade romantasy.
Yep.
Main character is a relation coach,
Yeah.
and Ryan is watching a Western. All
Yeah.
right. Well, okay, this one I have to say I thought about this for my like 4th novel, but dismissed it because I realized that I wasn't going to be able to do it. I just couldn't get the characters. But this takes place in Video Invasion, which is a video arcade somewhere in Middle Earth.
Okay.
And it takes place in Middle Earth, and there are people in this video arcade, Video Invasion, playing all sorts of different games, usually involving Dungeons and Dragons for reasons I couldn't figure out. But at one point, the one of the pivotal characters, a dwarf named Dumphy, meets a what's it called? Meets a beautiful elf named Lady Arwen, who's not the same Lady Arwen, but is played by Liv Tyler in the movie, as it turns out. And falls madly in love, but they just can't stand each other. On one hand, they have immense physical attraction as she looks, down like a few feet down at him. Immense physical attraction. But at the same time, they just can't stand each other because their ways. I mean, he's eating hunks of meat and he's drinking heavily, and he finds her too highfalutin, which is a real problem. So fortunately, just at the next video machine over is Dr. Dirk Dirksen, who is a relational counselor. And so he's there trying to get them to understand and reach beyond cultures in order to be able to make their relationship work. All the time, however, they're dealing with this immense threat from the orcs and half orcs who are on a different machine, who are trying to turn over the entire video arcade and destroy it. And so there's a lot of fighting and with swords and with axes, and it's pretty intense at some point, which is causing a problem because the owner of the video arcade happens to be Ryan, and he's sitting in the back trying to watch a John Wayne movie, and fistful of dollars there, and he's finding it really impossible to concentrate. So he tells him to shut up all the time, and for a while he gets some peace, but then the battle commences again, and in the end they manage to kill all the orcs and half orcs, and eventually Lady Arwen and our hero Dumphy kiss, and the relationship counselor goes off into the sunset as the hero.
There you go.
It was a stretch.
I really want to go to Middle Earth now and hang out in an arcade owned by Ryan.
And the interesting thing is that at the end, Ryan loved the movie and now watches only Westerns. He won't watch anything else.
Oh, I think this is our best yet. Like we both,
Yeah.
I can't believe it happened. Like
Definitely fiction.
definitely fiction. Yeah, I just can't believe that we
Definitely
ended up with
fiction.
both of those things. You know, what Ryan hated and what I hated, and it's just you got lucky, Norrin. You got lucky.
Now, you see, the problem is that you don't realize that I have eyes in both your places, and so I'm looking over at the graph from behind you.
Oh, okay. The reflection in my glass, my display cases.
That's right.
Oh, well, thank you for joining us, Norrin. It's been a blast as always.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it as always, and we wish you good luck with your novels.
Thank you. Well, you've watched the show, you've been on the show, you know what time it is. Where can people stay up to date with what you're doing, and where can people buy a copy of Bullet Holes?
So you can always stay up to date with me on norrinmripsman.com/fiction hyphen books. That's my fiction website. And you can buy my book anywhere, any platform where you buy books. It should be available. Certainly Amazon, but and basically anywhere else it's distributed. Next Chapter Publications distributes their books on any platform.
Wonderful. Well, guys, I'll leave all the links down in the show notes as always. Please remember to check out our sponsor, Rebecca Kearsells, our honorary sponsors, Janelle Schiecke and Alexander Robb. All the links are down below. If you want to reach out, thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com. Until next time, keep supporting those indie authors, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Thanks a lot. Take care.